Well, hello, Transparent Church and friends. This is Pastor James with the Word of the Day. Today I want to spotlight Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 from the New Living Translation, where we find these words. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Verse 6, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. Well, as we get started today and continue in the vein for the week of a theme on alleviating stress, I want to use for a theme for today, trusting God with what you can't control. You see, much of our stress comes from us trying to fix or predict and control the future. We like to have things in control. I know I do. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you I'm lost if I'm not the one handling and holding the remote control. But with that being said, many of us like to have all the answers all the time. But here's what I know. We don't. We don't have all the answers. And even as it relates to us walking by faith, faith is not having all the answers. Faith is trusting in the one who does. It's believing God enough to know as we keep walking with him, taking each step, each day by day, we depend on him. We acknowledge him in everything that we do, and he begins to consult, i.e. download to us which path we ought to take. It's like the psalmist says it like this in Psalms 25:14. King James Version would say, it is the secret of the Lord that is with them that fear him. When we fear, when we trust God to do what he can only do, and we begin to release ourselves from the burden of having to be in control and knowing everything that's coming around the corner, we can rest. We can rest in the fact that when we trust God, we shift the responsibility from our shoulders onto God's sovereignty. So you and I are in good hands. We just have to keep trusting in the Lord with not some, but with all our heart, and leaning unto him and his understanding and not our own. So let's trust God today as we continue to watch him make a way. And you'll see that the anxiety begins to lift because we're trusting in the sovereignty of God.